Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. So today's no different than any other. You know, we're amped up. We're ready to go. Ready for battle, if you will. One of those battles that's coming up quickly and just seemingly out of the blue, if you will. Not that it was something that we didn't realize is going to happen, but the battle against evil, the battle against this vaccine, the push of the vaccine. You know, I talk about this stuff often, and we have discussed how we knew that there would be, one, a new pandemic, two, that they would push the vaccine on us. What's crazy is that, you know, the president is pushing right now for a different vaccine, a new improved vaccine, because I think they know that there's a lot of people that actually complied last time that this time are not going to comply. My hair is like driving me crazy right now. So there's a lot of people that maybe are not going to comply, right? And that complied before because of various health reasons, health concerns, questions, just different things and reasons that they came about finally the conclusion that maybe this stuff isn't that good for us that we're putting in our bodies and that we were doing it blindly. So the idea that they would come up with a new one, a new and improved one would probably help get those people back in line, because those people that were willy-nilly just ready to just jump and follow are going to be much easier to follow. You need to figure out right now where you're going to draw your line in the sand and if you're going to comply or not. Now what's circulating is not only is there a new, uptick in the virus, number of cases and hospitalizations and all this stuff, they're ramping us up. But not only that, now's the dialogue again that, hey, we're going to make you do this. We're going to come up with this and we're going to make everybody do it. And obviously there's a lot of people that would argue they can't do that. It's unconstitutional, yada, yada, yada. You're going to cause civil unrest. It's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy because there is people like myself that are absolutely not going to comply. I don't care if you take, my disability away, my retirement, my military retirement. You can take them away. I'm not doing this, okay? And that's hard. That's hard for a lot of people. And it's going to be hard for a lot of people for work and all of that. Some people lost their jobs last time. Some people made it through, didn't lose their jobs. They fought a little bit and it just fizzled out and they were able to win their case and win that overall battle of keeping their job. But will that happen again? And so we have to prepare for this. You have to prepare for, one, what your answer is going to be, and two, how do you continue to live life? It is imperative that you have food, water, meds stored up, stockpiled up for this. It is imperative that you try to save as much money as you can and have money that can take you through a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, when you lose a job, okay? Until you find another job, whatever the case may be. You need to have cash, because this is the thing. They will try to control you any way they can. And what will happen is this, if this ever turned into, we're going to mandate it for everybody, try to mandate it for everybody, you have people turning on people. Look how ugly it got last time, how they turned on us. How disgusting unvaccinated people were, how selfish unvaccinated people were. I mean, just calling us every name in the book. Okay. And that, imagine if it was mandated for everybody and they tried to come out and say everybody has to do it. Imagine the ugly people, the violence, the people that will come after you and judge you and try to hurt you because you're not falling in line with everybody else. It's going to be dangerous. And so you have to be prepared for job loss, for hurt, for being turned away from stores. A lot of people are like, they'll never turn people away from a food store, the essentials, right? Medicine, this and that. You think that they won't turn us down and say, listen, if this was a national mandate that everybody had to get it, you think that they wouldn't stop that for a minute and say, no, you will get it, or you can't go to the grocery store, or you can't go. And let me tell you, that feeds right into a CBDC system, right? That feeds in, one, you have the test to see how many people are going to fall in line with that, but you're easily just turning people off already. And you're turning off the people that you want to turn off, because it's the same people that don't want to do a digital currency, don't want to do CBDC, don't want to do any of those systems either, right? It's the same group of people, these problem people that we're going to be, okay? And so get ready, get your cash out, save up what you can. Yeah, sure, pay down debt. Try not to have any strings that is attaching you to other people, right? Debts owed. But it's important to be saving if you can. And I know, because sometimes I say it out loud and people are like, you say a lot about save money, get cash, save up 3 months worth of, bill money, whatever. But it's hard out here. We can't have that. Where is that extra money at, Tasha? That money is not, I'm already juggling. I'm already not paying this to be able to pay this. And girl, baby, I understand. I have been there before. We are not like that right now, but I have trust and believe I have been there before. Okay. And so I understand that it's a struggle, but I'm saying do what you can do for your situation, right? Whatever you can do for your situation. If you are picking up boxes of food or whatever, or you are struggling for food, you should be picking up boxes and getting whatever food you can get and stockpile up, okay? I'm telling you right now, it is not a good situation that they are ramping us up for. This stuff is really ramping up out of nowhere, right? And a lot of people talk a big game like, oh, well, I'm not going to do it this time and all, but it is happening. Schools, I had a friend send me some stuff. I had seen this before. Schools are already shutting down, you guys. Districts, some in Texas, some in Kentucky. They're shutting down already. Like school has barely started and they've already shut down certain districts, and those kids are having to go to distance learning already, okay? And what's crazy is, you guys, these are like red states. Texas, you guys, has schools that have already shut down and sent kids home. Kentucky, red AF, already has districts that have closed and sent kids home. You have businesses popping up all over the place with mask mandates, mandating that people must have masks in their areas. Hospitals popping up all over the place saying you must have masks. Hospitals getting briefed that, hey, there's going to be a COVID crisis next week, in the weeks to come, right? The people at the hospitals are already being updated that there's going to be a COVID crisis, and coming up with game plans to turn certain parts of the hospital into, for more beds and all of this, right? And I'm not saying that it's not smart to get ready for different things. It's flu season. Of course, there's going to be an uptick right now for COVID, right? And when it does get a little crazy, it does get a little crazy, right? People get sick. People have to go to the hospital, right? But if you have that going on top of the shenanigans and the push as if, this battle of good and evil that's going to be happening, there is no freedoms. They are going to come for us because they know that we're going to say no. And so they have ideas already of how they can cut us off and try to make us conform to stuff. And if you think for a minute that, oh, well, they would never cut off food. They always had essential stuff open. Just a matter of time, and if they have their little minions working for them, these stores and these businesses, they're making, because of last time, they're making their own decisions. They're making their own mandates. They're saying, hey, so how easily is it, if there is if there's a national rule that says, hey, everybody should get vaccinated and will get vaccinated. Now you have stores that are going to comply, and you have stores that are going to comply with national government and back them up. And they're just going to change their own policies. The government's not going to have to tell them, hey, close your store and don't let anybody in that isn't vaccinated. Those stores are going to do it on their own because for the greater good. I mean, we're told everybody has to get it. And if you're not going to comply, I'm just following the rules, right? So do not be surprised when Walmart and all these places start closing their doors and saying, no, we're not going to let people in. And it's going to be their own rules. It's not going to be some kind of, or maybe it's a mandate that they have to do that because, they're following the rules, right? This is crazy. Is it too much? Is it like, no, this will never happen? A lot of people will say this will never happen. It would never happen. What I do think will happen is if this goes too far and actually goes to some kind of level where they try to mandate it for every single person in the United States, I think that you're going to see civil war. I think that it's going to just be the last thing to just push a group of people off a cliff and just make them say, enough is enough. I guess it's the time. I guess the time is here to fight, because you have people that absolutely are not going to do that. And then what are you going to do? You don't have the manpower to go around to these different places and drag people out of their homes. You can deny us stuff, Sure, but we have to, that's why we have to prepare. That's why it's so important to prepare. Now, this video, you guys, I was going to just save for my little group of Patreons. I don't have a whole lot of Patreons, but I was going to save it for that group because, you know, it is a topic that YouTube and these different platforms do not like. They do not like. And as we move forward, you're going to see more censorship and more of not letting us, just like last time, closing off our voices and not letting us be heard. So I'm hopefully getting this video out here now. Speak my mind. All I'm telling you is, I'm not telling you to comply, to not comply. What I'm telling you to do is know where your line in the sand is, know what you're going to do, and how are you going to prepare your family, especially if you do not plan to comply. How are you preparing for your family now? How are you getting extra food, extra water if you were cut off from the stores, if you were cut off from the bank? Could you imagine? Oh, you can't get money out of the bank no more because your bank has now complied with some kind of national thing and you cannot get no more money out of the bank, right? Could you imagine? Crazy, right? What kind of mandates could possibly be in effect that would allow that? Now, is this something that happens overnight? I don't think so. I think you would have time. I think you would see it ramping up. I think you would see the push. And it wouldn't be overnight, right? Even if people were going to comply, businesses were going to comply, it'd be very, very hard for them to just turn that on overnight, okay? So you may have time to, you know, pull cash out, get some groceries, but the more you do now, the more you don't have to do later and stress later when an event actually happens, okay? And you should be preparing for all types of other things that are happening right now, but be paying attention to this. It's not something to just close your ears and be like, I'm not listening to this anymore. This is trash. This is garbage. I'm sick to death of hearing about this, doing this, talking about it, seeing it. Because baby, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it because they are pushing it on all levels and things are physically happening right now. Mandates are physically happening. And of course, they're not going to talk about all these schools are already closing, right? Why are these schools closing for something that we should be treating like flu? It's not going away, right? And when you start closing schools, you are literally doing what we already said is horrific for our children, and that is closing the schools. And listen, I'm not a public schools advocate at all. I hate them. I do not like it. I'm all about homeschooling or a private school maybe, but I'm telling you right now, they're closing these schools and that is not good for the psyche of these young children that are in these schools still, right? Because you have parents who cannot be home. You have children home alone now that aren't getting the help, aren't getting the guidance for school. And we're just going to be raising like a dumb group of kids, right? We're not doing them any we're not doing them justice in the public school system. And now you add this, it's just worse. And we're just going to literally every year just pat them on the back and say, congratulations, you go to the next year, regardless of what you learned and did not learn, right? Just horrific for our school systems, horrific for their social, everything, right? So we're going to see how this goes, but I'm telling you right now, it is ramping up and you need to know where you stand and you need to prepare. You need to prepare. We talk about a lot of things that could happen. This is happening already. And so don't get caught sleeping on this because they're slowly creeping this up again and putting this in our face. And who knows what the game plan is. You're talking about a new vaccine. Does that mean a new virus? Does that mean you did something to the virus? You have a new virus on the horizon? You know, we all assumed, and he said, hey, it's a new COVID vaccine. Why is that needed? You know, in theory, if you think about vaccines and you think about, yeah, okay, of course, you would try to continue to make, you know, a vaccine better, but you would also take years to come up with a vaccine. And then you would spend years each time you were trying to make it better. And you would have trials. You would not be putting something on the American people right away. And then again, because we took something that was made so quickly, now you're just going to do it again. And what's crazy is millions of people will just fall in line again and just take that. You still have people who are like, yeah, I took my 10th booster this month, you know, like just crazy, right? Insanity. Please don't do it. They are killing us off. They are killing us off any way they can. And this is just one way that they're doing it. And you need to prepare for all the ways that they're doing it. But this is coming, baby. So get ready, get prepared, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.